Welcome to day 5 of the 470 World Championships in Enoshima near Tokyo in Japan. This is the venue where the Olympic Games took place 5 years ago on these exact same waters, and we have some of those Olympic medalists competing here today on day 5 of the Worlds. Hi, my name's Andy Rice, sailing journalist from the UK, and I'm delighted to be joined today by an Olympic gold medalist from Rio 2016 in the 470, Croatia's Igor Marenić, and it's great to have you joining me today to bring your expertise, Igor. Welcome.
Thank you, Andy, and I'm happy to do this with you. Happy to comment some hopefully good 470 racing.
And it's been a really interesting competition so far, and we had 3 Gold Fleet races yesterday. It was sort of a restart for the competition, and now we're hoping to have 3 races on day 5, and now we're looking at the build-up to the start of our first of 3 races today. We've got just about 20 seconds to go, and as you can see, they're still quite line shy at this committee boat end, but they're looking dangerously close to the pin end of the line, up the far end of the line from where our drone footage is. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's go time, and off they go, and it's a good start by Poland. 11 off this end of the line. China 1, they made a great start yesterday off this end of the line, but they are a little bit compromised by Israel. Ukraine is able to tack away early, and we've got a couple of port tack starters underneath the bulk of the starboards, and Germany 20 has managed to break through really nicely onto an early port tack. And in the far distance I can see Spain 44 on the far side leading the charge out towards the left hand side. Igor, where would you like to be out of this start at this stage? Who do you think is doing well?
It's very hard when I'm not on the water, but I thought there was a slight pin bias, and I think that's why the big chunk of fleet was fighting to start there. I even thought maybe some boats were too aggressive and maybe went over the line. Looking at the course today, like the previous days, I think if I would be in the boat, I would have difficult time deciding for myself where to go, because last days were quite, I would say, irregular. We had a typhoon passed by Enoshima a few days ago, and it completely changed all the patterns that sailors know, and it's pretty much go for what you see game this week.
Which makes it very exciting or very stressful, however you choose to see it.
Yeah, sure.
But Ukraine 22 for starting at the committee boat end, and it wasn't the best start, but it put them in a fantastic position to be first to tack onto port tack. So early gains for Yehor Samarin and Yelizaveta Vasilenko. I'm going to have to get better at these names, or maybe you can help me, Igor.
Yeah, sure. It's some names are also it's hard for me to pronounce, so I stick to both sail numbers.
Yeah, that's the easier way, isn't it? So quite a few boats tacking onto starboard here, and just left of screen, just going out of image, was France 10. We're seeing some good performances by Manon Peneniash and Pierre Willio. They've been not so good in Gold Fleet. Actually, they were really good in qualifying into the Gold Fleet in 3rd place, and they dropped back a little bit. And then there's a team on the right of picture, Sweden 349. Igor, tell me about that team. You know them very well.
Yeah. We used to work together in the past, preparing for the Paris Games. We did 2.5 years together, and. We finished we crowned that relationship at Marseille at the Paris Games with the bronze medal. So it was a very, very good collaboration in both professional but also like a personal level. I'm good friends with Anton since Optimist time, and then had a great time with Lovisa in the team, and then Anton's family is super supportive. Anton's wife also part of the team. So had a great time in that team. Yeah.
Yeah, so Anton Dahlberg and Lovisa Lindner doing very well in this race right now. Sweden 349. As Igor said, the bronze medalists in Paris 2024. And Anton had done so many campaigns that I thought maybe the Paris campaign would be his swan song. So I was surprised, I have to say, but I'm also delighted to see them back again. And Lovisa Carlsson now changes her name to Lovisa Lindner. So I'm assuming, Igor, that she got married since Paris 2024.
Yeah, exactly. She got married some 4 or 5 weeks ago, and yeah, I was there at the wedding, so we had a nice little party. But yeah, they came back to sailing like just maybe two months ago. Or okay, they did some trainings back at home a bit more time ago, but yeah, this is actually their second regatta since comeback, and the last one they did was at LA at the Sailing Grand Slam, where they did actually win a bronze medal. So yeah, let's say they had a good comeback, great comeback.
Very fast comeback. Meanwhile, a team that those Swedes will know very well, it's ESP 44, the reigning world champions, looking to defend their world title that Jordi Jamar and Marta Cardona won last year in Gdynia in Poland. And you can see just how hard they're working. Jamar really working hard as helm. And he sailed with Nora Brugman in the lead up to Paris. They must have been really disappointed not to win a medal in Paris 2024. But now he's back again. Jamar, the bronze medalist, with Nico Rodriguez at Tokyo 2020 in men's 470. So this is a venue he's done very well at. And he's doing very well with Marta Cardona, his new crew, winning the world's and the European titles, and certainly in contention to win another world title this week. Would you say that they have gone in this week as favourites, Igor, or would you put somebody else ahead of them?
They are always among the favorites, as you could see in the close up before. They are, I believe, one of the most physical teams. They really enjoy when Oscar flag is up. Oscar flag means that rules for rocking, pumping do not apply, so teams can do really whatever they want, and I think this team of Jordi and Marta really mastered their pumping technique, and they really enjoy those conditions. So yeah, but also they are having a very strong week since the start. They really push hard. I mean, every competition they attend, they are among the favorites, and this one is no exception.
And I'm not sure whether we can quite put the Swedes as favourites to get on the podium this week. As Igor just said, they did manage to make a very fast comeback to a campaign that's only 2 months old, getting the bronze medal at the event recently in California, where the Olympic Games will be held for Los Angeles 2028 in 2 years' time. But they had a bit of a rocky qualifying phase. I think they only just scraped in to the top 37 for Gold Fleet. Am I right in saying, Igor?
Yeah, exactly. So we are having a very big fleet here in Hiroshima, 74 boats who sail in 2 fleets of 37. And yeah, so they entered the Gold Fleet as actually last team to qualify. And now they are sort of on rise, trying to qualify for the medal race tomorrow. And let's see if they can do it in the 3 races today. So far, they are doing nice in the first race. So let's see how they can do today.
And the difference about this format is that the end of qualifying after the first 2 days of racing, instead of counting all your scores, it's your finishing position that gets consolidated into effectively your first race result. So they went into Gold Fleet yesterday with a 37th place effectively for race 1 of the finals. Have I described that correctly?
Yeah, that is correct. So a carry forward is basically your position as a first race, as you said, and yeah, so they entered the Gold Fleet with the 37 points, and yeah, now they have some catch up to do.
Now, Igor, you won your gold medal in Rio 2016 at the end of a very successful campaign and career with Shime Fantella. How much body movement was involved? How much of this Oscar flag body movement were you doing back when you were racing 470s 10 years ago?
No, it was on. I think as the sport evolves and fitness also evolves. I think if anything, teams do it even harder now. But yeah, I do remember some races where I would go to Shime. You do strategy and tactics, and I'm in my max heart rate, and I keep pushing the boat fast, but you do the rest. So I think it's pretty similar to the sailors now in these kind of conditions.
Yeah. So that's really handed the tactical decision making back to the helmsman a little bit more all round the race course, I suppose, because you don't have a chance to, as a crew, to look around downwind. You're looking too closely at that spinnaker luff, I'm assuming.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So meanwhile, GBR 55 are looking like they're doing very well. Well, they had an absolutely phenomenal day on Saturday. Coming through to win the first race after not doing so well on the first lap, but having a fantastic second beat, and then more or less leading the second race of their session, start to finish, and they moved up to overall leaders of the competition, having started the day in 12th. So certainly ones to watch out for, Martin Wrigley and Bettine Harris. But now we're looking at Japan 22, also going very well here on home waters. Tetsuya Isozaki and Yuri Seki looking very solid there, wearing those blue bibs, and certainly up in the top three, or fighting certainly very well, close to the top three. They're doing really well in this competition, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. I think they know these waters probably better than anyone else. They train here whenever they are home. This is their training spot, so they feel good. They feel comfortable here, and they. I spoke to them. I mean, I speak to them quite a lot because we used to be training partners before when I was with the Swedish team. So they picked this event, and this is the key event for them. So I'm not surprised they are doing well.
Getting close up towards the first windward mark, and Japan 4723, looking like they might be leading the way round the first mark. So Japanese going extremely well here in the early stages of this race. This is the fourth race of the Gold Fleet Finals here for the 470 World Championships in Enoshima. And I'm Andy Rice, commentating with Rio Olympic gold medalist from 10 years ago, Igor Marenić, who represented Croatia. And Igor will understand the patterns of play better than anybody as we see Japan 4723 coming towards the top mark. This is Sho Kaminoki and Amane Nagai from Team Jose, with a really commanding lead as they go round the windward mark and get ready to hoist that Jenica. Straight into a jibe set. That's an unusual move, Igor. We don't normally see the jibe set. Why do you think they've gone for that?
They went for that for sure because there was a bit of a righty up the top. Also, I think, if I'm not mistaken by the tracker, I think Swedish team had some nice comeback in the middle of the upwind from the right side. So they believe there is a bit more pressure there, so they go for it. Also from the tracker, seems like geometry of the course is a bit skewed now, so it's long to sail on port down to the bottom gate. So I think I would probably do the same in their position.
Okay, well, it is an unusual decision, but it does suggest that the wind has shifted round since the race course was set for start time, and by 470 standards, that's a pretty significant lead. Now, the question for these Japanese sailors, Sho Kaminoki and Amane Nagai, is can they keep GBR 55 behind them? Because as I was saying a few minutes ago, GBR 55, they really had a fantastic day yesterday. They managed to win two races in very different conditions, and that moved them to the top of the overall leaderboard. So now the Japanese have Martin Wrigley and Bettine Harris, who are setting the pace here in Enoshima. They're chasing them down in second place, and the kinetics downwind are going to be a critical part. And would it be fair to say that it was Jordi Jamar and Nico Rodriguez that really showed the rest of the fleet how to get the best of kinetics downwind in 470s, or was it not as straightforward as that, Igor?
Maybe not as straightforward, but at one stage they were for sure doing it a bit better than the rest of the fleet. I mean, as I was involved in as a coach, you know, I know that there was many teams who were doing it very good, but yes, they had, if anything, tiny bit of edge in the aggressive sailing downwind. And I think if also many teams try to take a bit from their technique and apply to their own sailing.
So we're seeing these very aggressive moves downwind, constantly pumping the kite. But am I right in saying that the Oscar flag can go up and down during the course of a race, Igor? And if that's the case, no, tell me.
No, that's correct. 10 knots is limit for the Oscar flag being, or more than 10 knots, Oscar flag goes up, and if it's under 10 knots, then the race committee drops the flag, and the pumping is not more allowed.
Lead change here, Igor. Sorry, I just wanted to interrupt. Yeah. So it looks like the British have now moved into the lead. I know we haven't seen them all the way down here, but I want you to take an educated guess. What do you think has put the British in front here?
I know because I spoke to Japanese team a bit, Kaminoki and Nagai. So Nagai is quite young, and she is like coming from the Japanese university sailing schools, and yeah. So I think here it's a lot about experience. Martin and B, they sail for a lot of time together, and they work very, very good together. And I'm not surprised that they managed to outrun the relatively young Japanese team.
Yeah, and what is the key to this technique? Because it's not just throwing the boat around randomly. I'm sure it's about getting the timing on the waves as well, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a lot about synchronization between the two, and yeah, I think what normally happens is that the skipper decides general angle or general idea, is it lower mode or faster mode, and then the crew does the work according to that, and plays with this micro decisions on the wave and the pressures. But yeah, it's a lot about synchronization and communication in downwind.
And we see the result of that, which is a phenomenal gain by the British ahead of the Japanese. And now there is a match race between two Japanese teams, but our former leaders are now back in third. We see our former leaders 472.3 going around in third place and immediately tacking away to clear their air, because they have also been overtaken by Japan 22, who have been the form Japanese boat so far this week. Tetsuya Isozaki and Yuri Seki, who are following the leaders GBR 55 out towards the right hand side of the course, and the gaps already are absolutely enormous. Here are the Greeks. They were very close to winning a race yesterday. They ended up finishing second behind GBR 55, but the Greek team also going extremely well this week. And then also up in the top few, Switzerland 3, they had some difficult moments yesterday, but looking a lot better in this race today. And then another British boat, GBR 9, Hannah Bristow and James Taylor, currently in 6th. And surprised to see in these conditions that there is no sign of ESP 44. I would expect to see them. I see Sweden 349 in the back of picture, and a couple of German teams going round in reasonable positions, but our silver medalists from the Worlds last year, Simon Deitch and Anna Markfort, we're yet to see them. I would have expected to see a little bit better from Deitch and Markfort in these conditions. What do you think, Igor?
Yeah, I agree. I agree. The German duo that you mentioned, they are quite known for their performance in stronger wind or medium to strong. So yeah, I'm a bit surprised, but as I said earlier, it's very very challenging conditions here in Enoshima, and it's hard to read the wind. And then if I'm not mistaken, I think they started by the pin, and this maybe have limited their options, with the first up leg.
Right. Yeah. So if you start near the pin and then the wind shifts, but you're not able to tack and cross, you've lost your opportunity to take advantage of the first wind shift. Meanwhile, we're back with the leaders. We're looking at Martin Wrigley and Bettine Harris wearing the yellow bibs and further stretching their advantage in this 470 World Championship in Enoshima, Japan, because they are being chased by two local boats, Japan 4723 and Japan 2022. But this is a really commanding lead by the British GBR 55 right now, who have been enjoying some really good results over the last few seasons, haven't they, Igor?
No, absolutely. They if anything, had incredible season. Actually, they, if I'm not mistaken, they have been like worst position second at Palma and in the air behind a Spanish duo of Jordi and Marta, but they have won Europeans. They have won the World Cup or Sailing Grand Slam event in Los Angeles. So they are very very sharp this year.
Unbelievably sharp, just incredible. Here we are with China 7. Occasionally we're getting onboard shots of China 7, and behind Korea 6 we just get a glimpse of ESP 44, our defending world champions, who are struggling in this race right now. Portugal 25, also a little bit further back in the race, because there's no sign of them in the top 10 scoreboard at the top left of your screen. And you'll see that GBR 55, top left of screen, is leading on the leaderboard, and you can see them leading here in the live images on the drone. And extremely hard work going in there by Bettine Harris. Why do you think there are these moments where she's putting in a lot of work and then having a rest? Is it a rest because she's physically getting tired, or what is it, Igor?
Maybe, but maybe it's also a bit flatter part of the sea where boat is going already well, so you don't need to push the boat through the waves, or you don't need to change the modes, like to go lower and faster. So yeah, I think they are sailing like that or changing the technique, because as we all know, unfortunately it's not predictable sailing, so the sets of waves change, puff, lull changes everything as well. So it's very dynamic, and I think they do change the mode because it's so changeable, everything. And as we all see, they do it very very well, extremely well.
We saw ESP 44 in that last image, still fighting their way in mid-fleet, trying to make as many gains as they can, and it will be much harder work for them back in the mid-pack than it is for GBR 55 right now, who look like they're cruising and have got Japan 4723 pretty much squared away to leeward of them, and then further along Japan 22. But it looked like, after being forced to tack away at the leeward mark, that going out to the left-hand side, even if they didn't want to do that, has actually put Japan 4723 back ahead of Japan 22. Would you agree with that, Igor? It looks like it did them a favour having to tack away to get clear air.
Yeah, no, I agree. But as I said, I think it's very challenging to put yourself in the right position, and maybe now the teams are also in a bit of like fleet management mode, especially Japan 22 that are in the medal contention. So maybe they look a bit more into big picture and getting the good score, but maybe they don't care about this particular one team, and they go for the majority of the fleet.
Another brief glimpse of ESP 44 fighting their way through the pack in this race, and now the digital images. Good to see that ocean swell on the Pacific also represented in digital form. And how does that affect the game, having this big rolling Pacific swell here as well? Does that change the way that you sail the boat much, Igor?
Yeah, it does. It's a bit different, and especially for teams who are not used to it, it can be very challenging. So yeah, you need some time to adapt to it.
Coming up to the windward mark for the second time, this is looking very good for the British, looking absolutely commanding, and this time it's a straight set, no jibe set this time, and not the best of sets actually there, Igor. I don't think they give themselves a 10 out of 10 for that, would they?
No, for sure not, but also they have such a handy lead that maybe they can give themselves a tiny bit of, relax, whatever. But no, the set itself was not great, but they are straight into it. They work hard, and yeah, I think the plan for Downwind is quite similar because of the geometry. You want to sail on that port early, so I think they went a bit on starboard just to create a bit more separation, and now they jibe. So I think they are sailing this regatta very, very good, like very, very smart.
Yeah, so they still, that's sort of a good defensive move, doing that 100, 200 meters on starboard before jibing. I suppose it puts them in a good position to cover the moves of the chasing pack. Is that your thinking?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah. So we got the rest of the top 10 going round here. The Japanese second and third. Italy went round in fourth. Spain 18 round in fifth. GBR 9 round in sixth. We're looking at Japan 4839, who are going round in ninth place, and we're back looking at that massive lead by GBR 55. And small gusts of breeze that we have the privilege to see from the drone shot, don't we? Oh, very close rounding there for Spain 44. It looks like they just about got away with it ahead of two German boats, but a game of fine margins, and it's going to be a struggle for Anton Dahlberg and Levison Lindner to get around. Looks like they've just about got around without hitting the mark, but problems for China 7. Are they going to be able to complete their tack in time? Not the best double tack, but I think they might have got away with it. And there's one of the Portuguese boats. I think that was Beatriz Gago, just going around there with Rodolfo Pires. Some really good scores by Portugal in yesterday's racing by two different Portuguese teams. But look how difficult it is in the middle of the pack. It's so much harder than winning these races. So GBR 55 can do exactly what they want. Everybody else here in the mid pack is completely compromised. You've got to stay out of other people's way. I'm not sure what was going on with Portugal 21 there. Do you want to have a guess at that? Or no, let's just look at this is the on board with China 7, and I think we're going to have to see them do a double tack. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is a replay of their double tack, which was not particularly well executed.
That was not intentional, but yeah, unfortunately, skipper lost the tiller there and lost the control of the boat. But they actually saved it quite well. They lost a couple of meters and a boat that went in to leeward of them. But yeah, they escaped the bigger disaster.
No disasters for GBR 55, already wearing the yellow bibs and leading the competition overall after 4 days. And now on day 5, they are setting the pace as the rest of the pack comes down behind in what looks like building breeze. It looks like breeze is getting stronger behind, and Japan 22 looking a little bit faster than the leaders that we're seeing here, do you think? But it's not going to be enough, is it, Igor?
Exactly. For the moment, looks like breeze is picking up. The forecast is to dropping breeze though, but I hope it stays like this so we can have 3 nice races.
And GBR 9 has closed quite close up on Japan 4723, who, if you remember, were leading around the first windward mark of this race, but the lack of experience is showing, and Japan 4723 having a great race, but being overtaken by some of the more experienced teams. And GBR9 working really hard to try and get past the Japanese boat, and it will be interesting to see who comes out ahead there. Japan 22 safely onto the final reach towards the finish, and Japan 4723 has managed to defend third place from the hard chasing GBR9 team. So GBR9 are looking solid for fourth. I don't think they're going to drop back any further, but they're not going to gain. And Greece 70, who were doing so well yesterday, also having a really good day today. A fifth place looking in line for Greece 70, and Aphrodite Zegas, one of the most experienced sailors in the fleet, sailing with George Cavas representing Olympiakos.
Yeah, that is actually a new pairing, Andy. They started some months ago, and here they are showing like amazing level. So very happy to see them in front also in this race. Let's see if they can make it to the medal race. I think would be super nice to see them in tomorrow's races.
Well, that new pairing, obviously finding good chemistry so early on, that's really impressive, as the Greeks come across the finish line in fifth place, and Spain 18 coming across in sixth, and there is the rest of the fleet with, looks like the breeze building. And there we have it. There's the overall scores once we factor in that race win for Martin Wrigley and Bettine Harris, consolidating their lead now with 8 points ahead of Japan. So there we have it. Next race coming up.